Nearly $500 billion in Bitcoin is sitting in wallets that a sufficiently powerful quantum computer could crack wide open, and most holders have no idea. Blockchain analytics firm Glassnode has mapped the specific cryptographic vulnerabilities embedded inside Bitcoin's existing supply. The firm found millions of coins stored in older address formats that rely on exposed public keys, making them mathematically vulnerable to future quantum decryption. Exchanges are among the biggest weak points because they frequently reuse addresses and hold massive concentrations of user funds in hot wallets with exposed keys. Even Satoshi Nakamoto's original 1.1 million Bitcoin, worth roughly $85 billion, sits in these early vulnerable formats with zero quantum protection. Security researchers say the fix exists, migrating to quantum-resistant address formats before the technology matures. But with quantum computing advancing faster than most of the industry expected, the window to move $500 billion to safety is shrinking fast. One of Ethereum's own insiders just publicly declared that the project needs new leadership, someone who, in his words, wants to fight. Former Ethereum Foundation researcher Dankrad Feist wants to raise $1 billion to create a rival organization that would compete directly with the foundation Vitalik built. Feist says the current foundation has become too passive and too slow to defend Ethereum against aggressive competition from faster, cheaper blockchains. His proposed group would lobby governments, fund developers, and forge partnerships, operating more like a well-funded startup than a research nonprofit. The proposal has divided the Ethereum community, with some developers rallying behind Feist and others calling it a direct attack on Buterin's vision. Ethereum has lost more than 6% this week alone, and the project continues losing developer mindshare to rivals like Solana. Whether this challenge gains traction or fades, the fact that a former insider is publicly calling for regime change signals just how deep the frustration runs. A new bill just landed in Congress that would force the United States government to buy and hold Bitcoin for the next 20 years, no exceptions. The American Reserve Modernization Act, known as ARMA, would direct the Treasury Department to establish an official strategic Bitcoin reserve and maintain it through at least 2046. Under the bill, the government would be legally prohibited from selling any of its Bitcoin holdings during that entire 20-year lockup period. The proposal comes just one day after President Trump signed an executive order opening Federal Reserve access to crypto companies for the first time. If passed, ARMA would make the United States the first major nation to legally commit to a long-term Bitcoin position at the national level. Critics argue that locking taxpayer money into a volatile asset for 2 decades is reckless, while supporters say it positions America ahead of every other country in the digital asset race. Subscribe now.